Avi, you asked the question, what was something you learned fairly quickly? And I like to poke fun at Peter about this was, with his PTSD, he started off with the very anti-support, anti kind of like subscription, philosophy. It was all consulting. And, I remember way back when he started, he would go up and say like, never buy support. You're dumb if you buy support. And then we quickly found out that companies wanted to buy support. Like it was the insurance, it was the peace of mind to be able to call somebody 24/7.
Well, yes, Matt, and I think I would structure it in this, right? In this case, that goes is what take you where is not took you here is not going to take you there, right? I think if you look at this case, especially because at that time, MySQL, right, refused to sell services unless you had support. Right, our kind of like opposite approach actually got us a lot of customers, right? Well, at the later time, of course, moving to a subscription model with support is funded the next stage of our growth, right? And I think in this case is what's important here is, not to be kind of stiff. Well, you know what? I am the man who holds opinion like forever in his life. Look, you had certain opinion, you've been educated, you change that. Market changes, you change, everything changes. There is no problem, right? But I think for many people, it really is a problem to say, oh, you know what? Yes, that is where I've been, but I don't think that anymore.
So you need that flexibility is what you're saying, the mindset to be able to pivot and understand that what you might have assumed or what might have been the case a few years ago isn't going to necessarily be the case today.
Absolutely. Right, and again, it may not be even what the facts changed. It's also maybe kind of what situation has changed, right? I remember, for example, one of the people were telling me, well, you know what, well, in the early days, and Matt, you may even kind of remember that, we had like many consulting engagements, like 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, right? And I remember somebody would tell me, well, you know what, I understand it's in the start, right? And then as you kind of grow up as a company, you would not be kind of interested in take engagements which are like 2 hours in length. Just too much hustle, right? You would want much larger engagement. And I was like, well, you know what, that is bullshit. We want to be young and nimble forever. Well, guess what? Right. Well, in reality, our average engagement size is much longer right now. That person was right. But if you would have been pushing that at that point in time, that probably wouldn't work.
Yeah. And speaking of that kind of like evolving mindset, and getting to Avi's point about like, starting with the services business, what sort of models would you recommend people look at now? Right. So is the service model still a reasonable place to start, or would you recommend that people start with, a cloud offering or some other offering if you're going to do a startup now, especially in that infrastructure space?
Well, I think it all depends also about how much money you have to invest, because the situation is different. Right. And one thing I would say about my case, right, that was probably like a worst. Right. I didn't have much savings, right? I was moving from US to UK where I started a company, right? I just had their newborn. Well, I think she was maybe 6 months or something. Then I was moving, right? So in this case, there have been a lot of pressure on me to actually start earning money right now, right? And I think pretty much as we landed, I had, my personal sort of like a pipeline full, right? Probably in couple of weeks, right? So really, I, did not need to put any capital in Percona, right? And in this case, that's probably unless you were kind of like a moonlighting. Right, that's hard. Now, if you can build relatively simple SaaS business, I think that is fantastic those days, right? Some people do those things as a moonlighting, working for somebody and doing that, right? If your employer allows that, some people may have savings, right? And especially like non-technical founders may be able to find some offshore team, and maybe for the 20, 50 grand, right, US, you can build a reasonable application, right, which may get you started, right? For us, the situation was, I think, with consulting, and I think that is still legit. Like, one thing I would do if like a premium, the direct there consulting, is try to steer people away from like dollars per hour, because that is not how you get the best value, right? And actually you focus your sort of, customer discussion conflict, or you like it at the wrong thing, right? It's much better to think about the outcome. Hey, you know what? You want me to get this? That's fine. It's going to cost you this time. And if I am finding ways to do it faster, whatever way I do it, well, that's my gain, right? But that is also actually how you optimize the processes, tools, wherever you look at, so you can provide the better price to your customers, providing them more value, and also getting more customers, right, in your services business. So
it makes a lot of sense that in a business like that, you get a lot more business and customers as word of mouth spreads.